I was sitting on the porch, coffee in hand, watching the leaves fall like tired memories when it happened. The moment I realised she wasn't coming back. Not today. Not ever. Her name was Margaret. We met at a community dance in 1984, in a gymnasium that smelled like old varnish and popcorn. She wore a sky blue dress and laughed like she had never known pain. I was hooked. We married the next spring, bought a small house on the edge of town, lived simply, saved slowly. She taught at the elementary school, I ran a lawnmower repair shop. Life was quiet, and I thought that meant good. For 31 years we had what most would call an ordinary marriage, vacations to national parks, long Sunday breakfasts, fights about how to load the dishwasher. It was never fiery, never chaotic. We liked it that way. Or at least I did. The first sign was subtle. She started taking walks alone more often, said it cleared her head. I didn't think much of it. But those walks grew longer. One day I followed her, not out of suspicion, just curiosity. She wasn't walking to the park like she said. She walked to a payphone near the old pharmacy, stood there for 10 minutes, talking to someone. When she came home, she smiled like nothing happened. I didn't say anything. Weeks passed. The phone calls continued, always from the same place. One night I asked her who she was talking to. She laughed. An old friend, she said. You wouldn't know him. Him. That was the first red flag I couldn't ignore. I started noticing more. She bought new clothes, though we weren't going anywhere, changed her perfume, began humming songs I'd never heard before. Margaret wasn't careless, but she wasn't trying very hard to hide it either. Then came the letters. One arrived in the mail, no return address. I recognized her handwriting on the envelope. Curious, I opened it. Inside was a note she had written, not to me, to someone named David. It spoke of memories, promises, regrets, and dreams. She never mentioned a David in 3 decades of marriage. I didn't confront her. Instead, I waited, watched. She kept leaving the house at odd times, always claiming errands or a walk. I began to feel like a stranger in my own life. Then, one morning I woke up and she was gone. No note, no suitcase missing, just gone. Her closet still full, her toothbrush still by the sink. At first I thought maybe she went for another walk. Hours passed. I called her friends, her school. No one had seen her. I called the police that evening. They filed a missing person report, but said she was an adult, and adults sometimes choose to disappear. It didn't feel like choice. It felt like abandonment. Days turned into weeks. I barely slept. I couldn't eat. Every sound outside made me rush to the window. But no Margaret. No calls, no trace. Then, 6 weeks later, I got a letter. No return address again. Inside, a single page. I'm sorry, George. I had to go. I can't explain everything, but know that I never stopped loving you. I just couldn't keep living a life that wasn't mine anymore. That was it. I sat on the porch for 3 hours with that letter in my hand. The same porch where we drank wine on summer nights, where she'd read novels out loud, where we once danced barefoot during a rainstorm like 2 teenagers. Now I was alone with 7 lines of goodbye. People asked what happened. I didn't know what to say. How do you explain that your wife just stopped being your wife one day? The lawnmower shop lost customers. I stopped fixing machines. I barely left the house. But pain has a strange way of pushing you forward, even when you don't want to move. I sold the shop, took up woodworking to keep my hands busy, built birdhouses and chairs, anything to feel useful again. I joined a grief support group even though no one had died. There, I met people with all kinds of stories, lost spouses, estranged children. One man's wife had early Alzheimer's and didn't remember his name anymore. We shared pain like old friends sharing soup. Months passed. I never heard from her again. I imagined her in cities we never visited, with people I'd never meet, living a life I wasn't part of. But I never hated her. That surprises people when I say it. I don't excuse what she did, but I understand, sort of. Maybe she felt trapped. Maybe I was too comfortable, too predictable. I'll never know. I kept that letter, still have it, folded in a book she once gave me. Every year on the day she disappeared, I read it again. Not because I hope she'll come back, but because it reminds me she was real, that we were real, and strangely, it helps. At 74, I've come to terms with a lot. with silence, with unanswered questions, with the idea that not all stories get a clean ending. Some nights I still imagine what I'd say if she walked through the door. Did you find what you were looking for? Was I really that easy to leave? Or maybe I wouldn't say anything. Maybe I'd just pour her a cup of tea, sit beside her, and let the years talk for us. I've learned that healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means making peace with what will never make sense. Margaret was a part of me, still is. And while she may have rewritten her ending, I'm still writing mine. Last fall I met someone at the farmer's market. Her name is Eliza. She sells honey and sings in the church choir. We started talking, then walking, then laughing. I haven't told her everything, not yet, but maybe someday. For now it's enough to sit on the porch again, with someone beside me, and watch the leaves fall. They still look like tired memories, but now some of them look like hope too. So if you're listening to this, if you've been hurt, left behind, or left wondering, just know that you're not broken, you're becoming. We all lose things, people, certainty, time, but what we do with what's left, that's the story that matters. Margaret's chapter in my life is closed, but the book isn't finished, and neither is yours.